Hi, this is Monica Bramlett, and in this video we are going to talk about strategies for multiplying by 5. Okay, so when we are multiplying by 5, a lot of times people rely on the strategy of skip counting by 5s to get to their product. So for example, if I have 5 times 3, I simply skip count by 5 3 times. While this is a great strategy and shows the true meaning of multiplication, such as 3 groups of 5, when we're trying to move towards fluency, we want to build a more efficient strategy. So for example, if I have 5 times 7, it's going to take me a little bit to sit there and count on my fingers by 5 7 times, and then I might actually end up making a mistake somewhere along the way, and that could affect my accuracy. So we are going to look at how we can use the times 10 strategy and relate that to get our product of times 5. Okay, so in a different video, when we talked about the strategies of multiplying by 10, we learned how if we were taking a digit like 7 and multiplying it by 10, that all I would have to do is I would have to think about, okay, the 7's going to shift to the 10's place. So I know that the product is going to be 70 because the 7 moved to the 10's and I placed a 0 but in the 1's place. I'm not adding a 0. I'm shifting to the digit to the left and placing a 0 in the 1's. So for example, if I'm doing 9 times 10, I can simply just place my 9 and put a 0 in the 1's place. Okay, so we're going to use that understanding to help us. So let's start off by looking at an even numbered digit by 10. Okay, so let's start off with 6 times 10. So using the strategy we just discussed, we place our 6 in the 10's place and a 0 in the 1's place. So that's 10 times larger. Okay, so to get my times 5 product, I'm simply just going to divide this in half. So I know that if I have 60, I'm going to have 30. So that's a quick way that I can use my 10s to get to my product of my 5s without having to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm able to get there by going, okay, 60, half of that's 30, which is more efficient. Which is a more fluent and efficient strategy here. So let's look at another even digit times 5. So if I have 8 times 10, we know that that is going to be 80. And what's half of 80? That would be 40. Okay, so in order to be able to be successful with this strategy, we really have to have our doubles and halves down. Okay. Now let's look what happens when we have an odd numbered digit multiplied by 10 or by 5. Okay, so for the example earlier, we talked about 7 times 10 and we said that's 70. Okay, but when I go to half it, sometimes these can be more difficult to half than our even digits. However, 70 is still an even number, so we can half this product. The way that I think about this is I think, okay, the 10 before that is 60, and I know that half of that is 30. The 10 above it is 80, half of that is 40. So I know that this product must be in the middle at 35. Okay, so let's look at that with 9. 9 times 10. We know that that would be 90. What we're going to do is we're going to think about, okay, I know that the 10 before it is 80, and the 10 before it is, after it is 100. Half of this is 40, half of this is 50, so I know that this must rest in between at 45. I would like for you to take this strategy and apply it to these next two problems. Okay, so when you're ready to solve them, press pause and then press play when you're ready to review. Okay, if I know that 4 times 10 is 40, then to get 4 times 5, I'm simply going to half the product to 20. Okay, so if I know that 3 times 10 is 30, I can simply half my product to get 15. And that's the product of 3 times 5. When you're ready to work these problems out, press pause and then press play when you're ready to review. By applying my times 10 strategy, I know that 20 times 10 is going to be 200. So I know that 20 times 5 is simply just half the product, so it's going to be 100. Okay, and so for 13 times 10, I know that the product would be 130. So for 13 times 5, I'm going to half that. And I think of it this way. I know half of 100 is 50, and half of 30 is 15. So I get a total of 65. In today's video, we talked about how we could use the times 10 strategy to efficiently calculate our times 5 strategy in a more efficient manner than skip counting by 5s.